Hello there and welcome back to part 4. Today we're going to talk about internet-facing applications, also known as sensitive applications. So let's start with what is a sensitive application from a Cyber Essentials perspective. This is any service or application that you provide from an office or other location within scope of your Cyber Essentials assessment that offers some form of password-based authentication that is also internet-facing, namely can be accessed outside of your office. Typical examples include VPNs, remote desktop services, and other web-based login pages, for instance, email, CRM systems, etc. And also any applications or services that you offer to your clients. Typically, the controls do not apply to cloud-based services. However, we would advise you consider only platforms that are able to informally meet the required controls, as this dictates good practice, which reduces your cyber risk. So let's look at the questions. Focusing on the actual assessment, there are a number of controls that you need to meet, starting at question A5.5, which asks, do you run software that provides sensitive or critical information that shouldn't be made public to external users across the internet? If you answer yes, this then opens up a further 4 questions around password best practices, namely minimum password length of 8 characters with no maximum, not a guessable password, for instance 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, etc. You have some form of policy in place to instruct all users to change their passwords if the system has been compromised. A password prompt which is designed to prevent repeated password guessing, also known as brute force lockout. So accounts are locked out after 10 or fewer unsuccessful login attempts, or you have implemented a limit to the number of login attempts to no more than 10 within a 5-minute period. Finally, do you have a basic password policy to help staff, clients, etc. determine what is a good password? For example, it's non-guessable. Not to use the same password across multiple accounts. Passwords can't be written down, and where they can be stored if you allow it, for example, within a password manager. Final words just before we finish. Remember, these controls only apply to services or applications where access authentication is provided via a password. For instance, if you use a VPN with a certificate, they are excluded. This also applies if you have enabled 2-factor authentication or lock down password-based authentication to a set of IP addresses. So in summary, if you do offer internet-based password authentication systems to your staff or clients, ensure you meet the required Cyber Essentials controls.